Let's get started!
Looks like the babysitter's early today. Make sure to keep an eye on it. The little person's extra annoying today for some reason. Alright, let's begin. Here we go. Another week, another rant video about everyone's favorite anime. So here we have chapter 360. The third chapter centered on Handaman ever since the focus came back to him at chapter 358. So we have two problems here. If the next chapter switches to a different character to focus on, that would cut the momentum of the whole Handaman fight. Just like back then during the war arc, where there's a whole fight going on, and then the scene suddenly cut to some kids arguing in a house, and then back again to the fight. On the other hand, if the next chapter is another Handaman focused chapter, it would just drag out the overall battle. Because everyone knows that Handaman should only be beaten by Falcon, this means that every chapter without Falcon are just going to be boring filler fight scenes with no development. But this is not what we are gonna be talking about. We are gonna be talking about Handaman's power level, because everyone's saying he's very powerful, and I'm getting confused. I haven't seen an ounce of power on Handaman ever since he arrived on the floating fortress 14 chapters ago. I know he's a fusion of two people, but I'll just call him Handaman because Handaman is easier. So what power are we talking about here? You mean that one punch he made last chapter that's said to be at a power level on par with Superman's? Okay, what did that punch actually do? Nothing. Absolutely f***ing nothing. In fact, Handaman's mega hands haven't done anything yet ever since they appeared in chapter 346. It launched into Bunny Gal and did nothing. It launched into God and did nothing. It was used on the UA building for 11 chapters straight and only managed to chip off the top portions of the front towers.
What? Listen, maybe the guy just
It pushed this guy and did nothing. It launched into beam cannon and did nothing. And then nothing again on this guy over here. Handaman's mega hands are so f***ing useless they can't even reliably injure his enemies. No win against a f***ing building. Every time he uses it against the heroes it does absolutely nothing.
And they all end the same way. Give up!
All the mega hands are good for is weighing down the floating fortress, because being dead weight is literally all it can do. You would think the arm break last chapter is good enough. I mean, Handaman actually wised enough to not use his useless mega hands. But no. Back in the war arc, it only took him 3 chapters until he could beat up some heroes. And now it took him 13 f***ing chapters just to break someone's arm. Because he turned into an even bigger idiot who wasted 11 of those chapters attacking a f***ing building. Even worse, he already has God pinned down now. A good villain would have snapped his neck or at least removed both of his arms, or just kill him. But Handaman is not a good villain. He's not just a bad villain either, he's the biggest brainless dumbass idiot loser in the entire MHA universe. So what did he do? He f***ing blabbered about nonsensical crap until his hostage got rescued. What a f***ing genius.
He starts monologuing.
You know what's even more genius? Handaman made an entire show of breaking God's easily replaceable hero equipment, and then left the remaining functional arm and the expensive as multi-cannons completely unharmed. And then Handaman conveniently forgot about his hostage after 2 seconds of not seeing him. Not really sure if it's because of his lack of a functioning brain or he's just deliberately trying to lose. And since one of God's arms are still intact, and he's sweating funny shapes now, that means he's about to get a power up and destroy Handaman with it. If that happens, then it's all gonna be Handaman's fault because he's too much of a f***ing dumbass to just simply kill him when he had the chance. At the end of the day, God still won't win against him. But how come no one is asking why Handaman also can't do shit against the heroes? It gets even worse when you realize Handyman had many chances to win against the good guys. He could have expanded his arms and pushed the heroes into the electric barrier. Maybe throw a rock on the generator platform. Or just simply dig down because he's already too heavy for the lift pads to work. But no. Handyman, with his almost complete transformation into the Demon King, is stuck there for 14 f***ing chapters and counting. He's fighting fewer heroes than what he fought back in the war arc, and still somehow managing to do even less. It gets funnier when you realize that his insane uselessness, incompetence and dumbassery are all being recorded.
All you have to do is tell me how you went insane!
Overall, as much as I hate Handyman, it's always exciting to wait for the next chapters featuring him, because it's always guaranteed he's gonna do something insanely stupid and funny. He's all talk and no skill. He keeps making world records of being the most pathetic villain of all time. And then the next chapter he breaks it and f***ing sets another record. He may stink more than a landfill, suck more than a vacuum cleaner, and more useless than the instructions on a shampoo bottle. But he's so much of a f***ing clown it's always entertaining to watch him. It's like he does all he can, but there's nothing he can do. Right now Falcon is still in the middle of his flight simulator and not arriving anytime soon. Just to give Handyman some time being a silly clown before he inevitably gets obliterated in a single punch. Handyman being a massive dumbass loser should get its own spin-off series at this point. It's gonna be a documentary, proving that some humans can indeed evolve backwards.
You thought I was the little person, but it was me. The creator of One for All.
You just got prank Miss Mine Layer. Now smile for the 10 people who are still watching.